Peace and love, y'all. It's your girl, the Vibe Priestess, tapping back in with y'all with more messages from Spirit. Just a little tarot wisdom with the Vibe Priestess. And you already know, starting off, we clear out the energy. So, to the Most High, the Creator of all, God, Spirit, Universe, ancestors, spirit guides of divine white light, thank you so much for your divine protection in protecting us and repelling any low vibrational energies, entities, beings, demons, evil eye, hexes, hoodoo, voodoo, or curses. Okay, and so mote it be. Ashe. All right, y'all. So welcome, guys. First of all, I am wanting to just, send everybody just the love that, from all the people that's been reaching out and just checking in and just making sure, that I'm good and I'm safe, just because I am in Florida. And yes, they love to fear monger. And I mean, I guess it's not fear mongering, because these hurricanes do really create a lot of devastation and things like that. The issue is that we never know. The hurricanes, they turn randomly this way, that way, and all of these different things. And they're in Florida, there's like a hurricane every week. Especially, I feel like this season is a little more ramped up, and we're having a lot more back-to-back hurricanes or whatnot. But it's one of those things where it makes sense, when you're on the outside looking in and you're like, why don't they just leave, this and that, right? But here's the thing, right? When everybody's evacuating at the same time, you see what I'm saying? Like, gas stations are running out of gas. You run into a lot of issues in traveling too, as evacuating, with everybody evacuating at the same time. I definitely evacuated before from Florida, when actually in 2017 I moved back to Indianapolis during Irma. And it wasn't intentional at all. I was planning on coming back, but then, God had other plans or whatnot. But, basically in 2017 I left, and, the people that did not leave, they were fine, okay? So it's just like, it's hit or miss with hurricanes. So it's like, yes, it does always seem like it's a better idea to leave, but not everybody always has those means as well, because if you're evacuating, that means you'll have to find somewhere else to stay, right? That means like, okay, well, I might go to a bordering a bordering city or state, that may not be within that realm. And you're still gonna have to worry about those expenses. You still are gonna have to worry about all these different things. So one thing about Floridians is, like, they made sure that they don't allow the media, right, to stir it all up. Now, things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, after seeing North Carolina and Tennessee, I understand the height, and to get people to understand the severity of things, but hurricanes are so unpredictable. I remember, what was this? Was it Sandy? I don't know. There was a more recent than Irma hurricane that was planning on being directed towards Tampa, and ended up like switching its course at the very last minute and hitting Fort Myers, So that's the thing. It's like, even when you're trying to evacuate, if you don't know which way to go, you don't know, all of these different things. So sometimes it's just a level of faith that you have to have in the Most High, that he's going to keep you protected and keep you safe, and that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Okay, so I just want to send everybody love for their concern and things like that. And I think that mass consciousness is so powerful. So instead of like having this fear-based way of thinking about it, just send high vibrations of prayer, of safety and protection over anyone. If you have any loved ones or someone that is in the area where these potential hurricanes could be hit, just send them love, send them protection, prayer that things will will detensify, whatever, send out the good vibes towards it, send out the silver lining of it all, okay, energetically to Floridians, okay? Let's do it like that versus like, oh my gosh, it's fear mongering, because that doesn't really help anybody, okay? But on another note, guys, we're gonna jump right into the reading, okay? We're gonna just tap in to see what energy, right? What energy the spirit have for us today. So starting off, triggered, right? Triggered. I feel like right now, and your energy is so powerful right now. It's triggering a lot of people. I feel like right now you are in your divine essence, right? You are embracing your individuality. Okay. Now, one thing that I can recommend is that you guys look in, like, start getting aware of like your natal charts, right? Knowing like what your north node is in and things like that, because what I'm realizing is that with these shifts in the ethers, right, a lot of our north node is what is where we're heading into, and our north node tells us about our purpose in our present timeline, right? Our south node we tend to bring in traits from our past lives that we just naturally, subconsciously, or innately already have these things embedded within us. And then our north node is to say, hey, here's some things you might want to switch this up, switch that up, because this is going to be beneficial to you more in this lifetime, right? So that's what that north node is. So I would recommend for anybody to go and tap into their north node, okay? Because for an example, right, my north node is Aries, okay? So my Aries is all about leadership. Aries is all about independence, okay? And so that is what I'm supposed to be focused on in this lifetime, okay? In order to be in alignment with my destiny, okay? So these things are so important, but a lot of times when you're walking and stepping in that path and you step into your destiny, you step into your north node, right? This triggers a lot of people who don't want to see you evolve or grow, or feel like, you know, because they're stagnant and they're comparing their progress to yours, right? That sometimes triggers people or frustrates people, right? So let's dig into this a little bit more, and let's see what the tarot has to tell us about this triggered energy, okay? And we're going to dig deeper into it, okay? Because here's the thing, guys. A lot of times our triggers come from our unhealed wounds, and triggers be needing to be dealt with, because I feel like when we're triggered by things and we externalize that trigger, it's a beautiful yellow butterfly that just passed by, guys. That's confirmation. But when we talk about you know, people being triggered and they externalizing, right? Instead of going within and say, what made me react or respond that way? It's almost like you're pointing the finger as if it was that person's fault. You didn't have to respond the way that you did, regardless of the actions of other people, right? Your reaction is all solely based on you, right? So these are things that you want to pay attention to, because, you know, you lose that control, right? But on top of that, right, it creates triggers that create frustrations, right, within others, right? Because here's the thing, right? If we take our accountability and we don't point the finger and we don't become victimized, right? Then it allows us to put the control in our hands when we no longer victimize ourselves, and we realize, like, you know what? I could have handled that differently. Or guess what? I didn't even have to be in that environment at all. I didn't have to even respond. I didn't have to say anything. You know, there's so many ways that at any given moment we can always separate ourselves from energy that we don't, you know, agree with, right? And if we're ever in a predicament where we can't separate ourselves, then I think that is the problem in itself, okay? So yeah, we got to separate our energy from people who are triggering us, or people that we're triggering, because it's like, if we trigger people and we can't simply just have a conversation to move through it, right? Or like, if we're triggered by something and it's just like, if we can't go within to see why we're so frustrated, why we're so upset by something, that a lot of times we be triggered, it be real subtle, you know, real minute. It don't even be things, and then it's like, because it went so deep or goes back so far, right? We don't even know why we respond in the way that we do. Maybe we haven't even dug deep enough to even know why we're being triggered. And that's what this card is calling you to do, right? When you're triggered, go deeper, right? Don't just be triggered. Go deeper to understand why you're triggered, because a lot of times it never is the actual thing in itself, right? It's always something deeper that we have to learn about ourselves to figure out, why did that even bother me so much? Why was that even throwing me off, you know what I'm saying, at all? You know what I'm saying? It just, a lot of times our responses it doesn't even call for the intensity of the response that we give when we're triggered, right? So all of those things plays a part and plays a role, okay? So let's see. Spirit, what else do we have regarding this triggered energy? What else, Spirit? What else, Spirit? Oh, did that flip over? No. What else, Spirit? Yes, okay. So this could be like, you may have been putting in some hard work, like you've literally overcome this energy, right? Maybe you were somebody who was easily triggered at some point, okay? But I see with intention, with focus, okay, with precision, you went in to look at those things. Like you said, you went in and you viewed those things, those wounds, those things that created triggers within you, and you addressed them and you dealt with them accordingly to heal it, because you realize that a lot of people outside of you will utilize that energy to affect you without you even realizing it. So you realize, in order to remain in control over you, your mind, you know, your responses to things, that it was important for you to do that hard work. And even if it took, you know, studying, if it took for you to have to like really go deep to figure it out, you know, you did that work. Or if you didn't do the work, it's saying do the work, because healing is hard work. Healing and going through the things and alleviating yourself from situations where you're feeling triggered, that's all hard work. It's all like building a muscle. You know, when you first start working out and you lifting weights, right? You don't start at, you know, 100 pounds, right? You start at like 5 pounds and then you work your way up. So it's like you got to start from somewhere, and as you continue to utilize this skill to have this awareness of how you're feeling from this time to that time, and you realize that, you know, when you're triggered, you automatically shift the way that you may naturally respond without having that premeditation. You know what I'm saying? It's like you didn't process it, you didn't go within first, you just simply solely reacted and things like that. So that's a beautiful thing, because we don't have time for, you know, the negativity. Like, we don't want to also give our power away by being easily triggered by people that, you know, it's probably just low-key trying to do that intentionally anyway. That's what we got to pay attention to. There's a lot of people out here that are just, that's what they're made for, okay? That's what they made for, to just be mischievous and just be, you know, conflictual in other people's lives. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's their purpose in life. Like, some people sign they life over, they sign they soul over to the devil, right? And that is like that's when you're doing the devil's work, to go and try to stop everybody else's progress from ascending to the Most High. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, when it comes to the Page of Cups, right, this is somebody who is like, they're immature emotionally, right? This is somebody who deals with their emotions immature. Like, they haven't went through that depth and understanding of how their emotions even work. You know what I'm saying? This is somebody that just responds and reacts immaturely and doesn't think first. You know what I'm saying? So this is exactly showing that we're moving out of this energy, right? Or it's just a reminder that you may have a little bit more work to do, right? If this is coming up, because we came out the woodworks putting in that work. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, it can be difficult, right, to temper those emotions and things like that in the moment, okay? But when this is like going on that new journey, right? This is like going and deciding that, yeah, I'm gonna do this differently, because this right now, the way this is working, it ain't hitting, right? And see, this is what happens too. It's like, this is all about partnership and things like that. So this could have been somebody that you was with that was triggering you, or you were triggered by, okay? So it's like, when you're in, especially in a relationship, okay, and you have people who are emotionally immature, and it's like, are we even equally yoked? You know what I'm saying? Or if you have these conversations to understand where that person is at, and it's like, look, I'm willing to, like, look, we got to understand that there might be times where we have to agree to disagree, right? And I feel like that takes a very mature person. Like, a lot of people don't know how to agree to disagree. It's always about being right or being wrong, and like, oh, you know, or somebody having the, you know, the better perspective. And it's like, you know, and it's just like, maybe we can just have a meeting of the minds, and we don't even have to debate about who's right or who's wrong, because our perception is our reality. So that person, whatever they're saying, could very well be right in their realm of existence, right? So who are we to judge and to say what is right and who is wrong, what is right and what is wrong for an individual, depending on what their experiences are? You know, that might be their truth. So we got to learn how to just not take, you know, to allow people's perspective to be spoken at least, and you can analyze it, see where you can resonate with it, see where you don't resonate with it, but not without the judgment of it, right? This is the problem that we have. We're always placing judgment, and I feel like observing is one thing, but when you have to apply, whether you like it or dislike it, or if it's, you know, then that's when you start placing judgment on things, which, you know, the only time that it really matters, right? It's like when you are in a partnership with somebody, then it really affects you. So these are the things that you want to pay attention to, because you don't want to be in partnership with people who are not equally yoked with you, with your mindset, with the way that you deal with your emotions, right? Because this is what happens. You get in a relationship and they're going to trigger you, right? But also what happens too is sometimes relationships are simply just for that, because it's time for you to be triggered. It's time for you to tap in to see, like, the things that you need to be healed. And a lot of times it is these divine partners that come in, or their karmic situations. They don't always got to be twin flames and things like that. It could very well just be somebody coming in that is a karmic partner. And karmic partners are just as important as soulmates and twin flames and things like that, because they teach you what you need to learn to prepare you for that divine union and partnership. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you might be dealing with a lot of these things, being triggered a lot, right? Going through, working hard to go through those experiences and learning from them before you know what I'm saying, move yourself out of these situations. But yeah, a lot of times it's the partnerships and the relationships that show us that reflection, right? That help us see, like, what it is that, what is it about you that triggers me? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times it is the people you love the most that trigger you. If you didn't care about a person's opinion, they couldn't trigger you. It wouldn't matter, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're just a loose cannon and you just have, you know, emotion. If you're just emotionally unstable, you know what I'm saying? Then that's just something else, okay? But yes, with this 9 of Cups though, it's like you've gotten to that place where now you have this level of balance and being grounded energetically, right? Emotionally, it's like you can't be moved emotionally at this point, okay? You are guarded and protecting your emotions, okay? So it's like you're at that point where now everything is an observance. Everything is like a analytical observation, right? You're just, as you're feeling throughout your emotional aspects, and then when you're interacting with people, you're like, you just have this dialogue in your mind that allows you to process the energy of not only of yourself but also of others, right? And you holding your square and protecting your energy is why you're moving this way, because it's that important sometimes for you to have this level of groundedness, right, and centeredness with your emotions. And that's exactly what this is about. That's exactly what this is about. So what else, Spirit? So yeah, this is about walking away from the things that are burdening you, okay? Because a lot of times, people who trigger you will be a burden to you, right? A lot of people, especially if they just intentionally trying to trigger you as well, because sometimes people will try to trigger you on purpose, and then it's like, what's the point, you know, of dealing with people who are really trying to just get a rise out of you energetically and intentionally? You know what I'm saying? You have to pay attention to those. So that's eliminating people who are burdensome in your life, eliminating the things too. It's not just always about people, because it can be the actions that you're taking, you know, that can be burdensome. You could be investing in the wrong things, the wrong people, the wrong places, and those alone could be burdens too. You see what I'm saying? So just pay attention to the things you're investing your energy into, because you'll be investing your energy into something that is not conducive to your growth, your ascension, your well-being. So pay attention to that. People are not healthy, right? This is all about stability. This is all about values, morals. Okay, this is the queen, right? She's mastered all of those things. This is all about being in your royal energy as well, standing in your power, okay, and knowing who you are. And when it comes to your creating your foundation, and you know those things are important, and you know that things, it's not just about being on the it's not just about the physicality of things, right? It's like you also look at the values, the morals, the integrity of things, okay? This is a high value woman or man. This is somebody, like when we talk about high value, not only in just your morals and integrity, but high value in the way that you carry yourself, okay? This is somebody who carries themselves high respect and high regard. And that's important, because that's what it is about self-love. When you know who you are and you don't allow other people's view or values to put you in a place to make you think less of yourself. You hold yourself to a high regard, and that's important, you know, to know your confidence, to know exactly who you are, okay? Because with this being the what is this? They smile in your face. I want to take your place. The backstabbers. Backstabbers. Okay. When you don't hold yourself to high regard, and you don't remove the burdens, and you don't remove the people that come into your life that want to cause these triggers and things like that, this is exactly how you get to this energy, right? You whole time you be thinking these are people that you can trust, and they're people that stabbing you in your back, people that don't really have good intention for you, okay? They have ulterior motive, all of those things. So it's just like it's important for you to put your own put yourself first in the matters of other people, right? I used to always be in a space where I was trying to see, how can I benefit, how can I be a benefit to you? Like, how can I, you know, but also expecting that these people have that same energy with me. And it never was like that. It was almost like there was these hidden agendas or underlying motives why people were fucking with me, not just out of the purity of just feeling like, you know, we each other's people. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. It's like not everybody has the same reasons. Just why you're dealing with them don't mean they dealing with you for the same reasons, right? So you always got to be ahead of the game. Pay attention to that and be vigilant. You see what I'm saying when it comes to that kind of energy, because that's what we really want to get around, is like not being manipulated, not being in a space where the people that we deem to be closest to us are really strangers, right? Because a lot of people who don't have good motives, triggered and everything like that, they're unhealed. So sometimes their motives are not coming from a whole place, right? It's coming from a empty place, a place of void, right? And that's never really good, okay? But yeah, so because this is what this is about. This is about like always having to fight, always having to fight off conflict, always to like while you're trying to ascend and grow, there's always people trying to get in the way of that ascension, okay? That's what this is about, okay? But it's like you took that on, you took it on, like, regardless, because it was like you're not somebody that's just going to lay down. You're not somebody that's just going to give up. You're not somebody that's just going to let people come in and sabotage you and you just woe is me and just raise your hands and give up. Like, you might surrender to the Most High and put it in his hands, but at the end of the day, you know that you are a spiritual warrior, okay? You already know the right actions to take to keep yourself protected. You know the right you know, you're just a super passionate person. You know how to communicate clearly, you know, things like that. So you continue to have that energy, right? It's like nobody can beat you, right? Even though it's not a game to you, but for some reason to other people who have this type of energy, it's like a game, right? But this is chess, not checkers, okay? And so meanwhile they're playing checkers, you 10 steps ahead of them on the chessboard, okay? So you continue to keep that type of energy, okay? Because that's what keeps you glowing, shining, and that's what keeps you divine, okay? With the Lovers, okay, this is also calling in divine partnership, because we did have the Two of Pentacles, the Two of Cups also came out with the Lovers, and that is divine partnership, okay? So divine partnership could very well be coming in, but this is what that is. It's like this prepares us for this. Like, a lot of times we'll be going through all these karmic connections in these situations where we're constantly being triggered, but that's why it's like, if we don't go through those things and find out what it is that triggers us, then when we get our divine union and our divine partnership, we'll be dealing with them from an unhealed place. And then it's like they should be healed and ready, you know what I'm saying? So it's like two people got to come together whole, healed, and ready for that to work out. And if one person comes lacking, you know what I'm saying, that is not going to pan out the way that you envision your divine partnership panning out, because you're still dealing with, you know, the insecurities that come from your wounds. You're still dealing with the, you know, the triggers and the uncontrollable emotions that come along with it, all of that. And if we need to be dealing from a healed space at this point now, you know what I mean? Especially if we're ushering in divine partnership, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we don't trust nobody, everybody that come in, we got the side eye, and we're just like, you know, it's like we gotta move with faith sometimes too. So it's like God will like bless you with your divine partnership, but then you sitting around looking at them with the side eye because you are allowing fear to fuel that connection at this point, because you're worried about this person not being who they say they are, because you've been dealing with so many, you know, fraudulent people that it makes you not confident. But when you're confident in the Most High and what he has for you, right, you're also confident in your own intuition. You're also confident in you and how you feel, and you are so connected to the inner verse, right, of you and how things flow, that it's like this connection that helps you understand that, yes, I can trust what I'm feeling right now, right? A lot of times we haven't been able to trust what we were feeling because we didn't have the right structures or the right understanding set up when it came to, you know, how we're supposed to deal with our emotions and things like that. So y'all, partnership, relationships, all of that, whether it be, you know, family, loved ones, partnership, things like that, this is the best. These are going to be the circumstances that are set there for you to work through, right? To build on you, to understand you more, okay? So we have to look at the triggers as a good thing, even though, you know, it can be a negative thing. The way that you respond to the trigger is what makes it a bad thing. But like, if you start to look at triggers as ways to dig deeper, ways to understand you more, like when you start to utilize these things as tools to help you grow and to help you learn more about yourself, you know, that's transmuting, right? You taking something negative and you're turning it into a positive, okay? Y'all, I want to let y'all know as well, y'all, start brewing you some rosemary, basil, cilantro. Okay, I do have another herbal blend that I have in there. I can't think of everything that's in the herbal blend, but like I'm just recommending those things for sure because they help you get rid of heavy metals and free radicals and things like that, and it really helps with calming, you know, the mind of anxiety, things like that, and any type of hormonal imbalances, things like that. Okay, that's what I'm sipping on right now. Okay, with a little ginger piece in there, and man, it's so good. I sweetened it with honey. It's a little recommendation. But back to the reading, y'all. So yes, yeah, this is you letting people think you've won, and that's another element of mastering self, mastering the triggers, mastering the whatever dysfunction comes out of those triggers. Okay, this is you not having pride and ego. This is you, like, even though, because like a lot of times we know a lot of times, y'all, when we're empaths and we're self-aware, we are, like, I'm not even gonna hold you, we're smarter than a lot of the average folks. I'm sorry, like, we're just on a genius level right now because the way that we operate is just next level, and a lot of people can't even go right over their head, right? But when we tend to like understand the power of surrender, the power of, you know, letting people think they won, the power of not having a battle with someone or trying to prove to be right. You know how sometimes people, they'll get into like a heated debate, and you know, this used to just blow me so much. I used to be so irritated with people who have these, well, what if this tree fell down right now? Like, how fast do you think that you could run across over there to save yourself? Like, just stupid ass random circumstances and situations that don't have any, like, who cares? Like, why are we talking about fairy tale circumstances that, and how is that circumstance beneficial to our well-being, to learning new skills and things like that? And that's like, I feel like a lot of people have those like type of conversations, but like I said, we more want to talk about like the conflict and the issues. But here, see, a lot of people, they don't want to have these mature conversations to just nip things in the bud. Let's just address things head on and stuff like that. No, they just want to be all in their emotions. If they're triggered by you and upset about how you're feeling, right, they're going to be more like, you got me messed up, you did it. And it's like, it's always going to be about how they feel versus what the real issue is, right? It's like, what did I really do to you? I didn't really do anything, and I still don't even understand what the real problem is, right? But because those people don't even have a level of awareness to communicate and convey their feelings, their emotions, what they're going through, right? It's just a bunch of just blah, you know what I'm saying? It's like they're not coming from a place of trying to have an understanding, right? And that's what this card is about. This is about letting those people have it, because you can sit here and argue with a motherfucker till you're blue in the face, and you can try to be understood by people, but if they don't want to understand you, they won't, right? And that's what I've come to realize from being a person that's always over-explained myself, always wanted to be understood, always wanted to understand other people. You see what I'm saying? So like, I would go out of my way to over-explain, go out of my way to try to have the conversation and come to a common ground and things like that. But here's the thing, not everybody want to have common ground. Like, you know, sometimes it's people's point of view to try to break you down or try to, you know, whatever their motives are, it's really irrelevant. But my thing is, you got to be able to identify when this is happening. When this is going on, you can't feed into the shit. You got to be in a space where you're ready to be like, oh, okay, cool. Well, all right. God bless. Okay. And keep it moving. You can't be that invested in these types of folks, because you will continue to be a triggered person, because, you know, you'll never understand. You'll never understand, because for someone who's triggered that doesn't want to understand themselves, they're never going to give you that space to allow yourself to understand them. You know what I mean? They don't even understand themselves. That's the point. You know what I'm saying? Because they haven't done the work to go within to try to understand the reasonings behind the actions that they take and the things that they do, right? They're not prioritizing their own heart, prioritizing their own self-love, prioritizing the things that's going to give them, that heart chakra healing, right? Unblocking the heart chakra. It takes that work. It takes that healing, going back to figure out, like, what caused the heartache in the first place, right? What caused the heartache in the first place? But it's always like, and sometimes to go on this journey to find out what caused the heartache in the first place is to walk away from the things that you know are creating the current heartache, right? But then it's like going deeper to really see, like, where did this, like, this is triggering me now, right? These are triggering me now, but there was something deeper that happened, that why I'm being triggered now, right? And now you see this person is walking away, going on their journey, pursuit of happiness, the journey of, emotional fulfillment and things like that, right? So this is what this is about, okay? You're going on that journey of discovery to figure it out, or you have gone on that journey in discovery. But if you have not, your time is now, okay? This is a message to show you it is time, okay? Time is just moving so fast, right? This is all about therapy. This is all about rest. This is all about going within to take that time to, sometimes we need to rest our minds. Sometimes we're going through 1,000,001 things and we need to just process, and so that's what this is about. Taking that time of therapeutic moments. If you need to meditate, yoga, okay, breath work, okay, go to a sauna, spa, whatever it takes for you to get this serene, peaceful space, right? But that's what this is about, needing rest, okay? But yeah, this is energy like coming. So this could be like, because of you going within to heal this thing, that's what this is about. Like major healing coming in because of you taking that time to figure out your triggers. Like why you're triggered, rather. You know what I'm saying? Once you do that, it's going to be very therapeutic for you, is what it's showing. Okay? Very therapeutic. Okay? And then it's also going to be like it's going to add on to this new way of looking, right? At you having new morals, new values, more, integrity. You're adding on these positive viewpoints, right? That's going to help you on your path throughout life, okay? So that's the beautiful thing. This is like the pursuit of good things, right? With like when we talk about values and integrity, that's so important, and without them, you get led astray in life, for real, okay? Now, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and pull some advice on this, okay? And let's see what Spirit has for us when it comes to advice. So yes, continue to explore, okay? Whether it be your emotions, exploring your inner emotions, y'all. The wind is picking up out here, okay? So bear with me. My little thing is just will not be still. I hope that doesn't affect the visual aesthetic of watching this video. But yes, so to continue to explore your emotional intelligence, okay? Continue to explore your emotional intelligence, okay? And allow everything to align in divine timing. Don't put too much pressure, or, don't try to speed it up. You know what I'm saying? Just take your time when it feels right to you, okay? Because this is also, when you start creating this level of balance within, this really makes you, it gives you this notoriety. People, it's like you tend to carry yourself differently when you move like this, and people see it, right? A mile away. They're like, okay, I like the way she carries herself. She looks like a high value woman. She's really handling herself gracefully. These are things that tend to happen when you are not the one responding out of actions. Like I talked about this the other day, when you get somebody that approaches you and coming to you with drama, and even though they may have started it and you're offended, but as soon as you start to respond the same way that they're responding to you, everybody around you will view both of you guys the same. It's not gonna be like, you know, nobody knew who was the aggressor, you know, in the situation. So that's why we don't match energy, right? If somebody is a clown, let them be a clown by themselves. We're not joining the circuses. You see what I'm saying? So what else, Spirit? Yes, and then this is another thing too, right? When we're growing and evolving in life, you know what I'm saying, we don't compare ourselves to other people, right? Don't compare ourselves to other people, because a lot of times that can be a trigger in itself, right? Because everybody has their own path, their own journey, their own purpose. So a lot of times people will be envious because they're sitting up here analyzing your growth versus their own growth, and we're not even on the same mission. You see what I'm saying? So this is another thing that creates triggers within people, right? It's just always comparing your life to somebody else's. You know what I'm saying? So let's stop doing that, because you know it's not beneficial, because it doesn't make sense to compare somebody when y'all missions are not even the same. You're judging them, saying like, oh, they're ahead of you in this or that, but their purpose is not in alignment with your purpose. So who's to say that they're ahead of you or not? You see what I'm saying? They're only ahead of you now just because of your perception, because you're not even building yourself up. You too concerned and worried about somebody else's business, somebody else, what they got going on. And that's why you are not ahead, because you are where attention goes, right? Energy flows. So you're basically pouring into the energy of what they're creating just by focusing on it. So it's like, not only are you slowing your progress down, you're helping them catapult theirs. You know what I'm saying? Which is not a bad thing, but I'm saying when you're looking at it from an envious place, or you're looking at it from a place of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's here or there, and I'm, you know, what benefit is it for you to compare? Because guaranteed y'all not on the same mission. Okay, period, point blank. All right, and we are going to get, I'm going to pull some advice from the angels. So let's see. So it's time for a new vision, okay? This is the future. So as we're talking about this, right? If you haven't been that person that has been as self-aware, then this is time for you to get there, okay? This is what's going to help you along, you know, with your future endeavors, okay? Today is the future you played an active part in forming yesterday. Ask the angel of the future to help you become aware of the role you play in creating your future in the present moment. If you currently feel pessimistic, unprepared, bored, or fearful, or if you don't have plans or goals, it can be very hard to see any clear way ahead or to get excited about the potential of your tomorrows. It's high time to allow the transformational power of the angel of the future to fly in and restore excitement and a much needed sense of possibility. Set aside some quiet time to create a new vision for your future self and consider what you want your life to be like. Write down what you want to achieve and enjoy checking off that to-do list in the days ahead. Set yourself up for fulfillment rather than failure every day by not only savoring every precious moment, but also by anticipating a future for yourself that is endlessly rewarding. All right, and what else? So this will be what we're going to pull one more from here, and then I'm going to pull from the angel deck as well. So beauty. See yourself with loving eyes. It is often said that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Ask the angel of beauty to help you see what is truly beautiful within yourself. If you find it hard to see your own inner beauty, others will find it harder to see too. The world is guided by the vision you have of yourself. Beauty is that elusive spark of kindness, generosity, joy, and love that twinkles in your eyes and radiates out from your loving wings around you and connect you to the mesmerizing beauty of your soul. Every time you focus on your own radiance, your beauty will grow. How this is like so resonating, right? So as well as looking within, cultivate beauty around you as often as you can. Spend time in nature. If your living or working environments are untidy, do all you can to declutter and introduce elegance and beauty. Surround yourself with colors that inspire and uplift you, such as orange, green, pink, blue, and purple. Beauty is your natural state, your birthright. Raise yourself up in every moment. You guys, yeah, this resonates so much because it goes back to, you know, going within and, like I said, having that confidence, going in, being self-aware, building yourself up, you know what I'm saying? Moving with generosity, you know, that's a very generous thing to, you know, humble yourself in moments when people are triggered and they're trying to comfort you like you're the problem when you're really not, right? But that's generous to give that person space to not respond in the way that they are reacting to you, right? To whatever it is that made them triggered, okay? That is a level of generosity and kindness that a lot of people, they don't appreciate it until they're like, wow, they're expecting you for you to respond. There was this actual video that was hilarious because it was this guy who hopped out of his van or something. It was like a road rage type of deal, and he like walked up to the car and he's like he said something real, like, you know, rude or whatever, and then like the people in the car just like looked over at him and then just kind of smiled and started laughing, and then like he started to laugh and he felt like kind of dumb that he even reacted the way that he did, y'all. So like a lot of times it ain't always the response, right? Like sometimes it's if we don't respond that is the power, like, or like if we it's not that we didn't respond, but the way that we respond is what holds the power. So let's pay attention to that, right? Because that man probably didn't expect them people. He was upset and he wanted somebody to match his energy so he could, you know, release that in some kind of way. But then it's like energy is so contagious that he had no choice to like match their energy because they held space of being kind and generous and just kind of being amused. So it was like he was left to match their energy and like to kind of like laugh it off like, damn, y'all, like he kind of felt dumb after, right? So that the power in that, y'all, there's so much power in that. And I'm telling you, when you start doing this and practicing this more, you'll start to realize these benefits, okay? So I think I'm going to take one more from my Green Witch Oracle. And I just love this deck because it, like I told you, if you're like trying to garden, like when I tell y'all, just from the cantaloupe seeds, melon seeds, and pineapple, you put that in some dirt, it grows so quickly and fast or whatever. So that's something exciting for you guys to try, but just all about the energy of cultivating and things like that. And this deck will tell you about certain herbs or certain flowers. Like it'll give you the metaphysical, you know, meaning to it. And so you gotta love that, right? So the first card that we have is Vitality, okay? So right off the bat, right, with focusing on building up ourselves and not being triggered by things, okay? Please go away, wasp. Thank you. Please go away. Thank you. And yeah, so Vitality is like people who are intentionally trying to get trigger, like try to trigger you, right? This is a form of taking like your life force vitality. So pay attention to that, people that you're around that like intentionally try to trigger you, that is always, you know, combative and wants to have some type of conflict. You want to pay attention to that because that's energy siphoning. That's, you know, provocation is a form of energy siphoning. So, you know, you got to pay attention to these type of people, okay? But Vitality, let's see what the book says, okay? We're gonna go by the book with this one. Let's see what Vitality has to say. All right, so Vitality and this Vitality, but fig is the plant or the fruit basically that's on there. So it says that plants give us oxygen for the lungs and for the soul. Big fact. So figs will show you that you can and should look at what you have and what is going on with new eyes. Every single day gives us all the chance of a fresh beginning, but you will need to jump up and work for it. New life experiences are on offer, and clarity will shine upon opportunities as well. Someone may be about to bring trouble to your sphere, so make sure you protect yourself, okay? So bam, that goes right to what I was just saying. Protect yourself, protect your energy. And sometimes protecting yourself is not combating with negative energy, like it's actually removing yourself whole, like completely, or just not giving the energy that they're, you know, whatever. There's so many different ways, but when this is just an awareness to let you know that a lot of times when you're constantly triggered, or if people around you are triggered, this is a pay attention. This is pay attention. Like, are these people intentionally trying to trigger you? Are these people low-key snakes and, you know, not really people that are really truly for you? Let's pay attention to that, okay? So make sure you protect yourself. Yeah, okay. So, so the figs can be used for divination, fertility, love, safe travel, and longevity. Okay. And Taurus, this astrological sign, it represents Taurus, okay? So yes, y'all, that's what's up. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in, okay? Make sure y'all check out my Instagram page is The Vibe Priestess. And in my bio, I do have, I'm going to actually update my YouTube bio too and add it in there, but I do have a Amazon store. I have my KDP journals on there. The links are in my Instagram bio. If you want to support the brand, please tap into that, okay? The journals are amazing for divination and manifestation. They have little inserts for you to put in your affirmations, okay? And just go in and manifest your destiny, all right? But until I see y'all next time, I'm going to send y'all peace and love, and mwah and mwah.